guys, this is Louis, and welcome into another edition of DX News. Could Bitcoin be the freedom that America is looking for? Apparently, Texas isn't happy with being just the mother of all guns and pickup trucks. Now they also want to become a haven for Bitcoin mining. Coming up on today's episode, Senator Ted Cruz talks Bitcoin, USDT possibly depegging, and Do Kwon wanting to give his followers an insane amount of hopium with his Terra 2.0 fork. Senator Ted Cruz, a very prominent member of the Republican Party who became more than famous last year for fleeing to Mexico when his state needed him the most, came out recently in support of Bitcoin, very surprisingly. Not only that, he actually has a pretty interesting plan on how to mine it using waste from oil production. This all happened recently at an event held by the Heritage Foundation. Now, it truly doesn't matter whether you're a comrade or a Christian follower. I mean, if you're in the crypto space, what do you think about this initiative? Take a look at the video below.
And I think in the last year or two, watching the jackbooted thugs of the statists express unrelenting hostility to Bitcoin and crypto, I think it's startled a lot of people. I'm not necessarily saying it's woken them up. I think many of them still believe that technology is on their side and centralized fiat currency will collapse of its own weight. Maybe. It's more likely to happen if government policy doesn't screw this all up. But I think we have an opportunity. It's one of the reasons I want Texas to be the oasis on planet Earth for Bitcoin and crypto. Look, if you value freedom, if you value the government being left alone, then maybe it's not in your interest to support people that want unlimited government power to control everything you're doing. That a libertarian ethos is a really powerful, powerful approach. And I hope Bitcoin chooses door number one and not door number two. But I think
very interesting. Texas could actually pull it off, and they could become what El Salvador is trying to be, and hopefully without fucking up the rest of the country.
So we were thinking of building Bitcoin City.
But why? Why would you do that? Why would you do any of that?
Now, the plan is to adopt BTC and BTC mining using natural gas that is actually wasted as a byproduct of oil production. Now, if you don't know, natural gas is produced mandatory when you produce oil. And most of it, unfortunately, is actually burned up in a process very adequately named flaring. So what Ted Cruz is proposing is that you use this natural gas, convert it to electricity, use that electricity to power the Bitcoin miners. And he also explains how these miners could kind of be considered a battery because they're storing energy, right? Literally, they're converting it into Bitcoin. But what he talks about is that in case there's ever a power emergency like there was last time, not too long ago when he fled down to Mexico, you could simply turn off the miners in an instant and divert all of that energy into the grid and use it to warm up hospitals, warm up people's homes, use it to power schools and people who need it the most whenever there's a crisis. Maybe this time Ted won't flee down to Mexico. He also did take advantage of the opportunity to blast on communist China and also rant a little bit on Elizabeth Warren. He had the following statement to say: they don't like something they can't control. That is the exact reason why most Democrats don't like Bitcoin. Why does Bitcoin make Elizabeth Warren toss and turn and twitch at night? Because she wants to stick her little socialist fingers into every penny in every one of our bank accounts. Strong words, Ted. Now, he also did bring up some very valid points. He said BTC is decentralized, so the possibility of the government screwing it up is, remote. It can be transferred from anywhere to anywhere at any time. At the 10-minute and 30-second mark, he actually makes some comments on how unbanked farmers from Honduras and Africa could benefit from Bitcoin. The government also, he says, doesn't really need to know everything you do with your money. Bitcoin can't be printed, and it can't help it can help give value to renewable energy and, of course, freedom, because that's what America's all about. Now, this is good and bad. It's good that the politicians are getting interested in crypto. It helps adoption. But also, it's bad because in case shit hits the fan, all of these situations will be used negatively against crypto and will be used to manipulate people's feelings about it. One very important thing that we should always keep in mind is that backing of this sort by politicians can be used as a way of market manipulation and gaining a good entry point. Right, Elizabeth Warren? While there, he pumped his chest a lot, saying that the Democrats don't understand crypto and it could be destroyed if it wasn't for him and some of his colleagues who are fighting the good fight. You know, he didn't exactly say it like that, but that's what he implied. To see the full video, just head down to the description. Interestingly enough, he expressed that a digital dollar would be a horrible idea and that the government has no issue getting involved in it. Very interestingly, he expressed that the idea of a digital dollar is a horrible notion and that he will fight against it if presented the opportunity. He mentioned that it would be another move to just control and monitor the people. And boy, do you have enough of that already. He also mentioned that cryptocurrency is a new Silicon Valley and he is not just supporting it but putting his money where his mouth is. He says that he buys $25,000 in Bitcoin every single month. Now take all of this with a little bit of a grain of salt, because he was also very clear that he barely understands anything beyond Bitcoin at this moment. Our following news: could USDT collapse? Well, the shadiest of all stablecoins is at it again. Recently, they were $10 billion in assets were withdrawn. A total of 10% of Tether reserves were cashed out, which is a lot, and needless to say, it's an unprecedented event. They have had controversies in the past by lawsuits from the state of New York because they cannot be audited. For some very strange reason, it's actually easier to like Senator Ted Cruz than to audit Tether. So let me give you a quick rundown. USDT is by far the largest stablecoin around. Now, every token is supposed to be backed one-on-one with a US dollar, although a certain internet detective recently took to the internet to find out and prove that that was not. And if you follow Whale Alert, you're going to see that time to time USDT means stupid amounts of Tether. Now, let's assume that it is all backed up, but can you imagine just a small depegging? What would happen if whales start cashing out? I mean, the effects of this could be horrendous. Now, to understand the problem, basically, you do have to keep in mind that most of the whales are actually market makers. Now, what that means is that individuals like you and myself actually hold very little of the supply. And if one of these whales cashes out, it might be catastrophic. Imagine, Tether is 4 times bigger than what Terra was. Now, because we are unbiased and we want you to have your own opinion, we're going to share some extra information that was forgotten by our suspender-wearing friend. Tether actually released a statement following that withdrawal. You can see it up here. Basically, what that means is that they sucked each other's dicks and congratulated themselves because they're still around. They got stress test and they passed the test for now. Now, is that really something to brag about? I mean, that's the point of the token, right? That's your model. You're backed one-on-one, so nothing special going on there. They do have a good point, though. They really emphasize that what sort of financial entity can stand having 10% of all of their assets withdrawn at once and without really crashing. Literally $10 billion were withdrawn and they were able to redeem every single bit of it. So remember, our sources are in the description. You can always follow up, make some reading, and do your own research, guys, as we always insist. So moving on a little bit to Terra 2.0. So just picture this for a second. You go to a restaurant or, keep it simple, a nice burger joint. You order a cheeseburger with bacon.
Cheeseburgers.
And what you get is a burger with bacon bits. So it's not really what you order, right? And to make it up to you, the restaurant owner says, okay, wait, let me give you another one. And he gives you another burger with different kind of bacon bits. Is that a solution for you?
No.
Well, that's what our friend Do Kwon is trying to do. So the logic of our friend Do Kwon and the Lunatics is to fork Terra into Terra 2.0 without a stablecoin. So what the fuck? I mean, can you order a cheeseburger without cheese? Can it be a cheeseburger with bacon if it doesn't have cheese or bacon? Now, needless to say, this attracted a lot of attention, and even some of the heavyweights already starting to chip in on their opinions. Really, man, we have to reconsider this. Moving forward, if this outrageous plan continues, the already destroyed Terra will be called Terra Classic, and the new and up-and-coming improved version will be Terra 2.0. So here at headquarters, we truly don't know what's going on with this, but it just feels like somebody's trying to not drown. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. As always, my name is Luis, and remember to do your own research.